I mean, Graham Souness, mate, actually, go and die. But
Did you see that
when
he was asked about
player?
No, but it's it's the
God.
fact that he was like, oh yeah, you all call Micah Richards like, oh, you all call Harry Kane a saint, and then Pogba's got 4 assists. You're saying, oh, he should be doing that.
I just think they need another centre back. To be honest, Tyrone Mings and Konza, fair enough. Villa fans can say they're good, but Tyrone Mings is not a good player. So, yeah, they need another centre back.
I reckon Tyrone Mings is the most discussed person on this podcast because he comes up every single episode. Without fail, Tyrone Mings is there. How do you feel about Lukaku, mate?
Yeah, I think he's a great goal scorer. It'll take a bit of pressure off Werner as well. Obviously, I don't know if you guys saw, he hadn't had a very good week after the open training thing. Did you see about that?
So, feels weird. It's been, again, a bit of a while. I've been tied out at work. I've had to do COVID isolation. So that was fun. It's just been busy. Wanted to do a pod last week, but the 3 of us weren't around, so I thought I'd wait a bit. So basically, what we're going to talk about today is we're just going to talk about the latest transfers in the Premier League. When we're talking about the week 1 of the Premier League season, the Championship's been up for a few weeks. Serie A starts next week. The French League's been up for a few weeks. The Bundesliga as well. We're just going to talk about football in general because the season's back, boys, and well, we're going to be back way more often. That's for sure. So,
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Without further introduction, this is Bullet Header. If you're listening for the first time, Luke, why don't you go introduce yourself?
Pardon? Sorry?
I said,
hello.
Luke, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Luke, Tottenham fan, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm here. So, hello.
And we've also got Jack with us. He's a Chelsea fan, aren't you, Jack?
Yeah. Much better than Tottenham, obviously. More trophies.
I mean, it's pretty easy to get more trophies than Tottenham.
Yeah, true. Sorry, Luke.
Anyway, let's get in with talking about the big game on Friday night. The first game of the Premier League 2021-2022 season. Correct me. It was Brentford v Arsenal. Brentford were the first top flight game since 1947. Aubameyang and Lacazette both ill. And it was with COVID. It was confirmed today. And it was the first start in an Arsenal shirt for Ben White. First off, how do you think he did?
Oh, wow, you conceded to newly promoted Brentford. Don't get me wrong, they played well, but still,
Brentford was
it's
sick.
not great, is it? Yeah, they were.
You would have thought that Arsenal were the team that came up from how shit they played.
It was go on, Luke.
Like I said, you would have thought that Arsenal were the team that I guess have threatened for relegation. I don't know how Brentford are relegation odds, but yeah, Brentford definitely looked like an established Premiership side, and Arsenal didn't. So
yeah,
it's because Thomas Frank's a better manager than Arteta, mate. That's why.
That's difficult though. I'm pretty sure Arteta is the favourite. Is he I saw him actually. He was top 4 to get sacked. He's at least Arsenal back in top 4 contention.
It'll be Xisco from Watford.
Yeah, Xisco, Vieira.
Yeah.
I think I saw Rafa Benitez as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably... We'll go on to all the Premier League managerial appointments later, but let's first off start with an established one in Thomas Frank. It was a very tough start for Brentford as Sergio Canos is near post effort. He put Brentford 1 up after about 22 minutes, and he looked great, but tell you who did look good, Brian Mbeumo. He looked lively throughout the first half, and Brentford were way on top, 1 up.
Yeah, I think Brentford as a team looked very, very lively. They looked like they've been playing Premier League football for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, I've got here Arsenal looked empty going forward for the first half or so. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there are players like Balogun and starting, so it's not it's not like it's the usual players, but still, man, I don't know, they just look dead. Smith Rowe didn't. I mean, Smith Rowe looked alright. It's probably their best attacking player, but Smith Rowe couldn't do it all on his own. Everyone around him was awful. Their best chance was actually a Smith Rowe shot at Raya, and that just went straight at him. And I think it was Arsenal's first shot on target, and it was 60 minutes in or something like that. It was ridiculous. Brentford doubled their lead from a a really bad long throw. It wasn't bad; it was clever, but like Arsenal's defender was terrible. It just the bounce, and then and Wemo or Norgard would have been there. Sorry, Norgard would have been there to head it in, but Christian Norgard was there, and what were Arsenal doing defending that set piece? Jesus Christ!
Proper Rory Gallop throwing.
Yeah, yeah, mate. Jesus, Bristol City scored one of them at the weekend. Thomas Callas long throw. Oh, sorry, it was Tuesday night even. Thomas Callas long throw. Chris Martin had it in. Basically, looked exactly the same. Really weird that. Yeah, it was 73rd minute goal, and that scored 3 points. Arsenal looked dead after that point. Didn't really have any opportunities. 2-0 Brentford. So, boys, that leads on to our first question. Brentford, do you think they'll stay up?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah, easily.
I reckon it'll be touch and go. I don't think they're they're going to come like 10th or whatever. Wolves did in their first season or less, or Leeds even. But
they won't do a Leeds, but they'll have a good season.
I think they should stay up, and especially when some clubs looked absolutely awful at the weekend, which we'll dive into. I think there's a lot of competition. There are quite a few teams who could be fighting for the bottom 3 in the relegation spots. Anyway, let's move on to Saturday lunchtime. United Leeds. This is a great game on BT. Before the game, they announced Varane. I don't think anyone knew about that. There was a shot on BT of him walking down the tunnel with his shirt, and then Old Trafford went absolutely mental. Obviously,
they've been waiting for it for a long time, though. To be fair,
United v Leeds is it's been a massive rivalry, and for years, and they've not been able to play each other in the league since about 2003. So that's 18 years. So it was a huge game. Jadon Sancho, new signing, we talked about him last time. He was on the bench, and what 2 words? Paul Pogba. Jesus Christ, man! What a game Pogba had. He looked absolutely phenomenal. Jesus Christ, I can't speak today.
He was unreal. He was
4 assists. It could be more.
I'm telling you, when he's on form,
almost scored at the start of the game as well.
One of the best players in the league.
Oh, yeah. Down. But
he's unreal.
He's quite underrated anyway. People use him as a scapegoat. Graham Souness, mate, actually, go and die. But
did you see that
when
he was asked about
player?
No, but it's the fact that he was you all call Micah Richards you all call Harry Kane a saint, and then Pogba's got 4 assists. And you're saying, we should be doing that.
I'll be real. When I first started watching this, I didn't know who he was, to be completely honest. Until I realised that he was actually somewhat a decent player for Liverpool. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's just. Graham Souness, mate, you had yourself a mare. But anyway, I guess let's get into the game. United went in front with Fernandes. Penandes, no people call him, but he's got a hat trick without a penalty. So Fernandes' goal on the half-hour mark pretty much sealed the first half. It was, Leeds still had something going into the break. And after the break as well, Leeds started the second half brightly, got the deserved equaliser from my boy Luke Ayling, mate. What a goal!
What a goal! What an absolute thunder!
See, those that don't know,
what an absolute goal.
Yeah, those that don't know, I followed Luke Ayling's career for 10 years now. I'm from Yeovil. I'm a Yeovil and Bristol City fan. I've watched Luke Ayling play hundreds of times. It feels like anyway. He's one of my favorite players of all time. He's the big games. He always shines in it for Yeovil in the promotion season all the time. Luke Ayling is a quality footballer, out and out, and a great man off the pitch as well. And I was so happy to score, to see him score an absolute wonder goal at Old Trafford because, trust me, he's worked for that. What a player! That's all I'm saying.
Big baller.
Well, after the goal though, Leeds switched off, and it was 3-1 before you knew it. Greenwood and Fernandes got 2 goals in a matter of minutes, and Bruno completed his hat trick on 60 minutes. The goal was allowed due to the new thicker VAR lines for offside. I don't know if you've seen that over the weekend, but there's been a lot more goals, which I think...
I don't think it's for the better.
Yeah, it's great, and it's
changed them more clarity. For the attackers in favour.
Yeah, it's clarity, and it's good. And I thought the referees on the whole had a great weekend watching all the games. I thought they were great, so fair play.
Mm.
And then, so Fred sealed the game with United's 5th, and I mean, he actually looked decent, but everyone looked decent when you win 5-1, don't you? Like, but it was a very good result for United. And when you had Varane and Sancho in there, well, Sancho did come on off the bench, by the way, for the last last section of the second half. But yeah, I United look good, don't they, boys?
Yeah,
do.
yeah, they did look very good.
They won't win the league, but they did look very good.
See, this leads me on, like, the title race. We're going to sort of have a few predictions now and there throughout this podcast. And the title race looks, well, I mean, it looks like it could be. I mean, I don't really agree with you, Luke. I think it could be between 4 teams. Like, it genuinely looks like City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and United have all got a chance of winning the title. And yeah, probably you say City and Chelsea are, the two favourites, let's say. But Liverpool, I mean, they looked great at the weekend. They had Van Dijk back. They got Konate as well. And they're sort of under the radar. And United as well. I mean, Ole is their sort of the man that's holding them back. But if they could get over the line and win a trophy, and wow, or maybe Carabao Cup start of the season, get in the Champions League knockout rounds, and then get a bit of momentum, then wow, United could actually win a title. Jesus, that's funny you think about it, but it's been a long time for United. 2013, the last one. Yeah, let's go to the other side of Manchester.
They've got all the tools to do it though. Like,
yeah, I mean they really have. They got great players. Just the managers, the playing staff. It's the managers that are, well, the manager that's holding them back. Let's go on to the other side of Manchester then. City. I mean, I know City have not played many. I didn't even think they played a preseason game. Like, well, the majority of the players anyway. They looked like they were in preseason. They had nothing going for them. And Luke, well, your Tottenham Hotspur side, well, they were the better side and they won. Thanks
they
to
were.
Son Heung-min.
First 15 minutes was shaky. I thought it would be like, okay, it's a bloodbath, but no, we fully deserved it. Like, Lucas, Bergwijn, Son, fantastic. Chafa Tanganga as well, fantastic performance from him. Oliver Skip as well. No, it was a very much complete Spurs win. To be fair, I didn't see any reason why City should have won it. Grealish was crap as well, which I found pretty funny. But yeah,
I think he was probably one of City's better players.
Yeah, I thought he was one of their better players of the game.
He got pocketed all game. It was so funny.
I don't know.
Him and Sterling.
Can I say that Man City have now lost 3 in a row? 1-0 in the Champions League final, lost in the Community Shield 1-0, and now to Spurs.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well that side that played Spurs was the most expensive side ever in the Premier League. It was 550 million. That's
and we didn't even need Harry Kane.
Mate. So 50 million a player.
Didn't even need Kane.
It's just, yeah, it's mental, isn't it? Mental. Just shows Spurs. I mean, they're not going to be a top 4 side, I don't think, but they have got some players, especially Son. And if Kane goes, which I expect he probably is going to go at this point. Sorry, Lou.
If anything, though, that game has just put another couple million onto his price tag.
Oh yeah,
because it showed Man City need a striker.
Yeah, like Kane. I think he's not the best striker in the world. I mean, he could be actually. He's up there, top 3, I reckon. But Kane, the price tag is going to be astronomical, and that is going to be the record. It's going to be the record for an English player, and it probably may never be broken. Especially, I expect that the transfer fee is going to come down quite a lot. There's going to be FIFA have got to do something, especially the way that Man City and PSG are operating at the moment compared to all the other clubs in the world. Yeah. There's got to be some sort of level playing field come in football at some point, because otherwise it's just not fair. So we'll get onto that in another podcast, because I do have some opinions of what FIFA should do, because it's not going to be UEFA, because they'll just go to the Chinese league or the Saudi league. It has to be FIFA that have to do a worldwide change, because otherwise, you're going to get the MLS, the Saudi league. All that's going to be the monopolies of football, because something has to be stopped. And the Super League was just the start of this. I'm sorry to say. Anyway, let's just go to the Saturday action, because. Well, I mean, the other Sunday game was terrible. It wasn't terrible. It was 4-2, but the football was terrible. Let's go for Palace versus Chelsea. You get to talk about your team, Jack. Well, first off, you've wrapped up the Lukaku signing. There were rumbles
I think that's
of that.
A very good signing.
During the last podcast, but we're talking more about Haaland going to Chelsea. But the Lukaku signing is crucial. He should play against Arsenal. How do you feel about Lukaku, mate?
Yeah, I think he's a great goal scorer. It'll take a bit of pressure off Werner as well. Obviously, I don't know if you guys saw, he hadn't had a very good week after the open training thing. Did you see about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Lukaku, he's kind of the missing piece to what we needed now. Our defence looked solid last year. We were creating chances, just couldn't finish them. But now we've got someone who can do that. So yeah.
So yeah, Chelsea, European champions again because they won a Super Cup. And one player who was excellent in that game was Trevor Chalobah. Made his debut in the Super Cup, and he remained in the side for the game at Stamford Bridge on Saturday. Palace embarking on a new era under Patrick Vieira and Mike Gahey of Chelsea, but he was at Swansea last season. I think was the only new signing to start for Palace. Um, well, how do you think Vieira is going to do? Because Palace are one of those sides that I do feel have got a great chance of being relegated because most of the core of their team's gone. Obviously, you still got Zaha and Eze,
Yeah.
but
I
a
look
lot of
at their
players.
team and I just think, oh, who there's gonna keep them up apart from Zaha?
I mean, you got a good sort of young attacking. I mean, Zaha's not young, but you got Elise, you got Eze, who are two great talents. And I
Well,
mean,
he's injured at the moment, isn't he, for
yeah.
like a couple months?
But like, what I mean is, like throughout the season, I mean, Elise
Oh,
is going to
okay,
come
yeah.
into the side at some point. Eze is going to come back, but you got a good sort of young core. You got, I mean, I think Ridevold, the left back's really good. I rate him. And you got some talent in there, but some of the side, I mean, look, they're not better than what we get in the Championship of Bristol City. Like I reckon Thomas Callas could probably slot into that. Crystal Palace scored at least. Adam Naj could probably slot into that midfield. Like the talent on show isn't that, you know, it isn't top quality. And Roy Hodgson did a good job keeping the ship steady. You know, they weren't in any trouble at all last season. And I think that will not be the case with rookie head coach or manager if you're talking about it in the Premier League terms as well. I know he's been at Nice
Palace
and
are very much in
New
this
York, but
transitional phase, though.
yeah, this is
No,
what I mean. Like the
they're
documentary, I
getting
don't know if you've seen on Amazon. That's
lots of
really
young
good.
players and stuff. Yeah,
It shows
I don't think they'll stay up,
no.
but no, they've done. It's just, I'd say it's an exciting time for Palace if they can stay up. But I mean, the only thing really holding them back, I think, is Vieira and obviously like squad depth. But no, I don't know.
See, Steve Parish, I think, is one of the best, around in sort of, is a really transparent figure in, the sort of the higher echelons of the Premier League. Obviously, he is their club and he's transparent. You don't see the Glazers or Ed Woodward or when he was at United. You don't see them coming out on Sky and talking through stuff like Steve Parish does. He's a great sort of example for other Premier League clubs. The clubs run pretty well. It's just the players and manager aren't up to scratch. I mean, Vieira could be great, but he's Nice. The situation was out of his favour, and he was all right in the MLS. Played some decent football for New York City, but it's a different level. I mean, Phil Neville.
I think it'll be interesting to see how they do against, like, obviously not a top 4 team like Chelsea.
Yeah, well, let's get into the game now. Well, Chelsea absolutely dominated this game. If
Yeah.
you don't mind me saying, Mason Mount was fouled on the edge of the area early on, about the 27th minute, and a free kick came Marcus Alonso's way, and well, it's probably one of the goals of the season. It's a pretty good free kick from Alonso. I was like, wow, okay, swing it back a bit. Good start, Jack.
Yeah. I think obviously this wasn't our best lineup out. But even still wasn't the best lineup. We just dominated the game really.
Yeah, and it was 2 by the 40th minute. It was a quick 1-2 between Azpilicueta and Mount, which completely fooled Palace defence. And then there was a low cross across the byline, sort of bundled in by Pulisic, and it was 2-0 before you knew it. Yeah, I don't know what Gaeta was doing there in goal, but that was a pretty poor goal from Palace to concede. And then Trevor Chalobah made it 3. That was a pretty good goal. That is similar to it's similar to the
Premier League debut.
To the Alien goal. It was low. Obviously, it was like a low driven shot, and pile driver on the edge of the box. He looked so emotional as well after he scored. Like, you can tell that it meant a lot to him. I thought anyway. And it ended 3-0 Chelsea. And I thought I've got here written down. Palace offered not much going forward at all. I don't think I saw them have many chances at all. I can't remember it now, but Palace, they're going to struggle. I mean, not being wrong, Chelsea are probably the best defensive side out there, so I could be proven wrong, and I probably will be proven wrong, but they weren't great at all going forward. Let's just whittle through some other Premier League games that were on Saturday. Anyway, so Watford Villa. It was the first Villa game post Grealish. Watford. I mean, I thought, I probably still think they are going to go down, but they did look very good at the weekend. I thought, especially the managerial merry-go-round, the controversial way the clubs run, Watford are always going to be candidates to go down. Even in the Championship last season, I'm not going to lie to you, they didn't even look that great. So, Watford were probably my favourites to go down, but they came out the blocks well, didn't they? Their new signing, Emmanuel Dennis, gave them the lead early on. I thought Ken Sema and Ismail Sarr, two wide players, were great. They caused problems in wide areas. It was a sort of a poor shot from Ismail Sarr that deflected off Tyrone Mings and just went over Martinez. I don't know if you saw that. It just flew over his head and he couldn't do anything about it. And that put him 2 up. And before that was early on, and Watford were, the game was out of sight. By then, and then it was 3 because the other new signing, Cucho Hernandez, put them 3 up after 66 minutes. The curling shot from a wide angle went right in off the post. It was great. I mean, it fooled Martinez, but he was, from nowhere, curled straight in off the post, back in like a corner almost. It was that far off, far wide. Villa came back into the game though. I mean, first off, we talked about it last time, how they're going to miss Grealish, and they looked terrible at the start of the game. They came back into it with new signings, Leon Bailey and Danny Ings having an impact. Bailey got the assist for the John McGinn goal. It was a great first-time shot from McGinn, and Danny Ings made it 3-2 with the last-minute penalty, but obviously it wasn't enough. It was 3-2 to Watford in the end. But how do you think Villa will do? Because I don't think they're going to be top, 10 like everyone's suggesting.
No, it won't be the same as last season.
No, I honestly
they will miss Grealish.
I can see him coming by the 13th, but I don't see him challenging for Conference League places or anything like that. Like a lot of people do. How about you, Luke? How do you feel about Villa?
Yeah, like you said, definitely showed that they missed Grealish on against Watford. Although I wouldn't say it's all bad. Like Leon Bailey, when he came on, looked very good. Danny Ings obviously scored a penalty, which in hindsight you'd expect them to do, but it's good for his confidence at their new club. I'd say they will struggle with Grealish, obviously, but people thinking that they'll be now European challengers just because they've spent a lot of money, or completely wrong, they won't do that. They'll get mid-table to, like you said, 13th, something like that. I think Dean Smith is not a very good manager, so that's going to hold them back a bit. However, I don't think it'll be all a bad season for Villa. I think they'll do all right come the end of it, but they won't have a good season as people are going to make out to be.
Yeah,
but
they're sort of
the new signings won't be flops. I don't think.
I think the signings they've made are pretty good. Buendia, I think that's a good signing. Ings, obviously, proven Premier League scorer.
I just think they need another centre back. To be honest, Tyrone Mings and Konza, fair enough. Villa fans can say they're good, but Tyrone Mings is not a good player. So, yeah, they need another centre back.
I reckon Tyrone Mings is the most discussed person on this podcast because he comes up every single episode. Without fail, Tyrone Mings is there. Let's go to Luke, you mentioned Rafa Benitez earlier, saying he could get sacked early on. He is the first man in 2 centuries to manage both Liverpool and Everton. And Southampton, their opponents this weekend, fancied by many to go down, especially after selling Danny Ings.
I think Southampton are going to struggle.
Although one thing that's gone in their favour though is that Ward-Prowse has signed a new contract today to 2026. I didn't think that would happen. Yeah, I thought he would move on, but yeah, he is committed his future to Southampton for at least a couple more years. new signing Damari Gray for Everton looked great early on. He was causing problems on the right hand side, the right flank. But yeah, Everton went behind from a mistake from Michael Keane, led to a debut goal from Adam Armstrong. I rate him so highly. Like, in the Championship, he's great. Like, he's been second top scorer the last 2 or 3 seasons now. He's scored 20 almost a season. I think it was 17 last season. But Adam Armstrong's always up there goals wise with Blackburn, and they're going to miss him a lot in the Championship this season. But watching the Championship a lot, I could do. Adam Armstrong's quality. Yes, he's small. He's not like. Yeah, but like he reminds me a bit of Rooney, Adam Armstrong. Like he is quite built, and he's lightning quick. Like he's a bit like it's like Malpai. Like he's probably not going to have like this impact that he had, that he had in the Championship. But I still really rate Armstrong quite highly. And he scored a great goal as well. There's 1-0 Southampton at the break. But Richarlison levelled that, sneakily volleying in on the aftermath of a corner, 1-0. And then Doucouré put Everton 2-1 up after 75 minutes. It came from a quickly taken free kick that caught Everton napping. So Southampton napping. And he had time, top corner. Great goal from Doucouré. Richarlison and DCL combined to put the game to bed. 3-1, diving header from DCL. And Everton looked pretty decent, but they had a shoddy start. Let's just talk about them. Everton, Southampton. What do you think? The two sides.
I feel like first half, obviously they're 1-0 down, so I could already see Everton fans getting a bit difficult with Benitez. But Richarlison basically scored within like the first couple of minutes, anyway, in the second half. So where he sat in the dressing room certainly helped them. But yeah, I think. Like you're saying, like sides like Damari Gray, Andros Townsend looked alright. They've done some nice signings, Everton, but I do think they need more if they want to kick on and do better than they've done, like with Ancelotti in previous seasons. I think. But
let's face it, it'll be like in the past. Though they'll have a good start to the season. People will think they're going to get top 6 or whatever, and they'll end up
10th.
Yeah.
See,
I do think Benitez is under a lot of pressure, though.
Oh yeah, he has to do something.
He's a good manager. I rate Benitez. I think he's a good manager. What he done at Newcastle was good, keeping them up for however long. But and obviously it was time at Liverpool. But obviously, like I said, like because he used to manage Liverpool, them Evertonian fans, they're not gonna just let lightly to a couple poor results. They'll be on his back, which is what I'd be worried about if I was him. But no, I do think he'll have an alright season. He just needs to get a couple more signings in, and hopefully they'll kick on from there.
See, he's a perfect manager for Everton, but he's managed Liverpool. That's the only problem with it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember what source it was. I think it might have been the kickoff or something, but they were talking about it. Ancelotti, and it might have been the Jaffin podcast with James Alcott. It's one of the two. I listened to quite a few lot this week, but they were talking about saying that Ancelotti didn't actually feel very Everton. Like he's always managed a top club, and he brought in players like James Rodriguez and stuff to play for him. Or the Everton squad could look completely different because James wants out, Rafa wants to get rid of him, and Rafa, like he's used to a project. Liverpool was a project. They were nowhere for about 5-10 years at that point. United were dominant, maybe in 15 years at that point. United were dominating leagues, them and Arsenal. Then 2005 when they won the Champions League, it was the year after the Arsenal Invincible season. And that Liverpool side, they were always third best under Rafa. They weren't ever challenging. And obviously, and then Mourinho came in towards the end of his stint at Chelsea. And so Rafa did great at Liverpool. He was a project. Newcastle took him up from the Championship and established them as a Premier League side. Left and they look crap under Steve Bruce. Let's be real. Rafa's a great manager. He is perfect for what Everton want to do, especially the new stadium and all that lot. It's going to happen over the next couple of years. It's just he used to manage Liverpool, and he might not be there for very long. I don't expect.
They'll lose James Rodriguez as well.
Yeah,
obviously.
he's like honestly he's
Sigurdsson as well.
Oh god, I forgot about that. But yeah, James Rodriguez is off. I think he's off. I don't know where he's going, but he's off. That's what I've heard. let's go through the rest of the Saturday games before we talk about the late kickoff Norwich Liverpool. It was Burnley Brighton and Leicester Wolves. Burnley, they actually controversially scored early on. I don't know if you saw the Tarkowski push on Malpai. Did you see that, boys?
Pardon, sorry?
The Tarkowski push on Neil Malpai.
No, I didn't.
Well, basically, right. So it was so Burnley at the corner. It was first couple of minutes of the game, like second minute or something like that, and it was whipped in, and it was like basically Tarkowski pushed Neil Maupay to the ground and scored from the corner, and it was disallowed. They went to VAR. Oh no, it was a goal, but it looked like it was going to be disallowed for VAR, but they actually allowed it, and not quite a lot of people were unhappy about that because Tarkowski did quite clearly push Maupay to the ground whilst he was moving to get to the ball, but. He was not penalised for the foul on Maupay in the build-up, and it was 1-0 Burnley really quickly. Goodmanson almost doubled the lead after the long solo run. He shot at the post. It was a great shot for Goodmanson. Another corner came in for Burnley and nearly another goal. It was Ben Mee this time. His header hit the underside of the crossbar and bounced out, so that was close to going in. Burnley were dominant first half, but Brighton, they made some changes in the second half. Brought on Alexis McAllister, brought on Jakob Madère, and two of them were involved in 2 goals. And before you know it, it was 2 on Brighton. Madère came off the bench and started Maupay to make it 1-0, and Alexis McAllister came off the bench and scored literally a couple of minutes later in the 78th minute. And Burnley were really unlucky to drop points because they absolutely dominated the first half. But Brighton, Graham Potter, great manager, made some changes and they got the 3 points. How do you reckon Brighton and Burnley are going to do this season, boys?
I reckon Burnley will be same as last season on the verge of relegation. Yeah, I just don't like. You look at their team compared to last year. Have they got the signings there to keep them up this year?
I mean, they signed.
Burnley will stay up for one reason and one reason only,
Sean Dyche.
and that's the man who's in charge of it.
Yeah.
Like, he will keep them up. He's top 5 managers in the league. He'll keep them up for sure.
See,
Sean Dyche will keep them up.
And I think Brighton will stay up again because of Graham Potter. Yeah, they've not got their.
Brighton just need a striker.
Yeah,
man.
they haven't got the
They'd be
clinical
sick.
striker. That's what I was going to say. But they play great football. They've got a great sort of core team there. I mean, Shane Duffy's come back in since Ben White has gone to Arsenal. But really, I mean, Webster, he's the best centre back there now, and he's great. Let's face it, Adam Webster is absolutely phenomenal, especially the ball at his feet as well. Like, him and Ben White really haven't got that much too dissimilar about them. They're pretty much the same ability, and Webster probably will go to a big club at some point. I wouldn't be surprised, or maybe like an Everton or something for a big fee if Brighton are sort of never move on. Josh Brownhill, I saw this. He was on a bench for Burnley. He came on late on, but he has been crucial in pre-season. He's been on set pieces and stuff. It looks like he's off. I don't know if you've seen this, boys, but it seems like he's going to go to Leeds for about £15 million. I saw it today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw it today. What do you think Josh Brownhill will do in a Bielsa system, eh? I think it'd suit him personally. I think he's great.
Yeah, I mean, fully deserved. He's a good player.
I'm just trying to think, would he suit it or not? Because what type of player is Brownhill? Like, is he? I never know. Because he's like, always he's been playing at Burnley for like.
He's a bit like.
He's very much.
Oh, at City, he was a lot like. He's a bit like Calvin Phillips in that way. I think like he's not a defensive midfielder. He's number 8, and Phillips, he's not a fully defensive midfielder. He does go forward, but he just marshals the midfield, man. That is what Brownhill is. Everything goes through him. He can score a wonder goal. He's a bit like Frank Lampard, and to be honest with you, that's what he's like. That's a comparison, or Mason Mount. That's a comparison you could say to Josh Brownhill. But like, he's everywhere, man. Like, he is.
Yeah, I reckon him and Phillips could be a good midfield.
Yeah, he is absolutely everywhere, and he's one of my favorite players I've ever seen. A bit biased, but Brownhill is like, and also if he does go to Leeds, City make I think 1.2 million on. They've got a sell-on fee, so maybe we can go get another player of that as well. So. It's pretty good. So I saw that deal this morning. It looks like it's going to go through Josh Brownhill to Leeds. And then the final game, Leicester v Wolves. It was the first game of the Bruno Lage era. Jose Sarr and Francisco Trincao both started the game, new signings. Do you see a Adama Traore's miss? Oh my God. Oh no!
I did actually. What was it like?
Oh mate, honestly,
Oh,
he was
God.
1-on-1 with
Was it an open
Schmeichel,
net?
right? And he was like, it was 1-on-1, right? But like, he didn't even hit the target. He literally put it like so far wide, man. Like, it was if it was any other player in that situation, like
Pace
yeah,
merchant.
like Adama just it was a great ball from Matinho. Defense split in and past the two centre backs, and it was just like Adama should have scored. Like if he took a touch and sort of curled it around Schmeichel, he should have scored. A striker would have scored that goal, but he had another sitter as well. But yeah, he could have put Wolves 1-0 up. Leicester actually did go 1-0 up just before half time through Jamie Vardy. Did you see his celebration?
The celebration.
Vardy celebration. Man. I know he hates Wolves. There's like a beef going back there for a while, but all the credit must go to Ricardo Pereira. Great bit of skill, falling the defender on the right hand side, and a great ball into the box, and it was just a Vardy tap in. At that point, 1-0 Leicester at half time. Now, Daniel Marty made a mistake coming out of the second half, almost led to a Wolves equaliser. His misplaced pass fell to Trincao, who dealt with the player on the right, and then it came back to him, and it was a poor shot from Trincao, but it came off Sienshu's legs. Like if it could have sort of floated in, came off Sienshu, and it went out for a corner. That was a big chance for Wolves, and Leicester were lucky. And chances at both ends with Vardy and Traore to end the half. It was kind of like Vardy's chance; he should have scored. Traore's chance was not as obvious as a goal as a first chance, but it could have led to much more. And then Max Coleman later on had a great chance. It had a header where it went straight into Schmeichel's arms. Leicester won 1-0, and they've won the Community Shield this week. They've beaten Wolves 1-0, one of their sort of sides they're battling with in the mid-table fight, because they're not going to be like, I mean, Arsenal and Spurs are in the mid-table fight at the moment. Like, is that close for those European spots? And yeah, Wolves, I think they're going to be in the lower half of the table, but like any
It's nice to see
team,
Raul Jimenez back as well.
yeah.
Obviously
That was my next
last
point.
year.
That was my next point. I mean, he's
That
got to
was
wear
nice
his
to see.
head protection, but it was great to see Jimenez back. Hopefully, he gets back to scoring goals soon. But yeah, so Leicester, great start to the season for them. And that covers the Saturday games, or the early Saturday games, and it's Norwich Liverpool. Well, boys, it was I don't know if you saw this, but it was the long-awaited return of Virgil van Dijk, and it was great to see him play as well.
Yeah,
he looked good.
honestly, good for Liverpool fans to see back, as
Clearly, yeah.
Liverpool being rivals to everyone else. Didn't want to see him back, but it's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, he's worked for a lot as well to get, he didn't rush the injury. He could have been back for the Euros, but he's like, no, I want to be back for the season and make sure I don't get injured prematurely coming back from the injury. Anyway, so Norwich looking to stay up for this time around. They're a bit of a yo-yo side at this point, but it's Liverpool that went in front on 26 minutes. A beautiful low ball from Trent. It sort of it went to Mo Salah, but his misplaced touch fell to Jota, and Jota did what he does. He's probably he's gonna keep Firmino out the side, I reckon. But Jota looked great, and went 1-0
Yeah,
up.
he did look very good.
Another amazing run from Jota, won a free kick, stupid challenge from Todd Cantwell, yellow card. It could have been, if it was, it was almost denying a clear goal scoring opportunity. That was a bit risky from Cantwell, but he got a yellow for that. Trent free kick went wide, but Firmino doubled the lead on the 65th minute. He combined with Salah and Mane in the build-up to the goal. It was 2-0, and Salah made it 3 10 minutes later, following a corner. The ball just fell in his lap. One touch, and it was it was cutting into the net. I thought Jota, Tsimikas, and Salah were great for Liverpool, and Norwich are all right, but they're playing Liverpool. We need to see them against a lower ranked side. That's what I'm thinking. So, boys, what do you think about that game?
Yeah, very dominant display from Liverpool. Norwich didn't look brilliant. I reckon they'll go down again this season.
Interesting.
I don't know about what Luke thinks.
Yeah, I don't know. Norwich are a weird one because I really like Daniel Farke as a manager. I think they play nice football. Like, first 10 minutes in, I thought Norwich would be like they were actually attacking, going at Liverpool. But no, yeah, I do think they'll struggle this season for sure. But no, Liverpool look very good. So, but then again, they've not really like obviously they bought Kanate in, who's decent player, but I don't know. I think there's Liverpool's still lacking that
Mane looked
midfielder. I
better.
think
That's what I'm saying. Mane looked a lot
Mane
better.
looked good.
Yeah, Salah was
Obviously,
amazing.
play FPL. Salah was
Yeah.
like the goated.
I
So-
thought because obviously Andy Robertson's got his injury. I thought Simicast was great at left back as well. I did say that he was pretty good. It was his first start as well, which is interesting. But yeah, I think Norwich they've been a bit risky in the transfer strategy. Obviously, Buendia's gone. They've put in a lot of guys from the Bundesliga. You got Josh Sargent from Bremen. You got Rashica from Bremen as well. I mean, I think Norwich has had about 10 players. They've got a lot of depth in there now. None of them are really Premier League proven, like to the extent that maybe so Watford's teams, a lot of them have played in the Premier League for a long time. That's one thing they don't actually have. I reckon Norwich will stay up this time though. I'm pretty confident in that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this season goes. And then, boys, the one game we've not talked about so far, it was West Ham Newcastle, and it was the most end-to-end game. I mean, Newcastle looked great for the first half, but threw it away, didn't they?
Yeah, I was
The
going to say, I
last
watched the
game.
first half and Newcastle were great, and I saw they lost 4-2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't know why.
So Maximan was great in the first goal. A bit of skill, set up a crossing opportunity, and then Callum Wilson headed in 5 minutes in, and then Aaron Cresswell levelled. That goal was, it wasn't sure whether it touched Jared Bowen. Not it was originally ruled out, but then the VAR overturned. It was 1-1. Basically, Newcastle were dominant going into the second half. There was 40 minutes in. Jacob Murphy header from Matt Ritchie cross made it 2-1. But West Ham came out of the tunnel a different side and scored 3 within 20 minutes. Benrahma, Souček after the Antonio missed penalty, and Antonio again to make it 4-2 to West Ham. I don't know if you watched this game, Luke, but Newcastle looked terrible second half.
Yeah, Newcastle was so flat out. But West Ham. Like the first half, they were all right, but obviously Newcastle were winning. But now West Ham, I don't know how they do this season because obviously they're not really strengthened in the transfer market. All they brought in is Areola. Unless
2
I'm
words.
missing someone completely obvious.
Relegation fight. What should happen? Relegation fight. West Ham. No, I'm honestly, it happened last time they got into Europe. Relegation fight. Watch it happen.
I think they'll go mid-table. I don't think they get relegated. There's no way.
Nah, man.
I don't think. I don't know.
It's just last time West Ham did this, they overachieved. They got 5th or maybe 7th in the league as the last season at Boleyn Ground, or Upton Park, as many used to call it. Yeah, Newcastle. West. They played Newcastle, didn't they? West Ham. They're I mean, maybe not relegation fight, but they're going to be lower mid-table, I reckon. I don't think they've got it in the locker to play regular European football and keep it up, and be interesting, especially if Declan Rice leaves. I don't think he will, and I think that's probably the saving grace for Declan Rice for Newcastle.
He was very
West Ham,
good.
sorry. He was really good. I thought he was marshaled in midfield, picked up a lot of loose balls as well. Declan Rice did, but yeah, he is crucial for West Ham. And they've got to keep him. Otherwise, they could be in trouble. So yeah, that's the Premier League roundup. We'll go into the weekend. The big game, Arsenal-Chelsea. How do you see that going out, boys?
See, I want to say Chelsea will obviously beat Arsenal because I think they're the much better team. But whenever Arsenal play Chelsea, they actually
I'm telling you,
the best game of the season.
Arsenal will win. I'm telling you, Arsenal will win.
Probably.
Really?
They'll win. That's how. I don't know. I feel like it's at the Emirates as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, Arsenal will win, guaranteed. I'm not surprised. Well, I say that it won't surprise me if they win, but obviously Chelsea should be winning. But no, I can fully see Arsenal getting the 3 points.
So, boys, we're going to do predictions every week. So I'm going to take you through the games. You don't have to do a score prediction, but just tell me who you think is going to win, or it's going to be a draw. So the first game is Saturday afternoon, well, lunchtime really. It's Liverpool-Burnley at 12:30. How do you feel that going?
Liverpool. Let's face it.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool gonna thrash them.
I'll go Liverpool win. 3:00 kickoffs. You've got an interesting couple here. You got Villa Newcastle. I think that will
That'll
be
quite a good game.
a draw.
Villa win.
I'm gonna say Villa win as well.
You've got Palace Brentford, London derby. That
Brentford win.
Draw.
I reckon Brentford will win that as well. Actually, away from home. You got Leeds welcoming Everton to Ellen Road at 3:00 as well. How do you see that going?
Everton win that 1-0.
I reckon that'll be a draw.
And the final 3:00 kickoff. Interesting one here. City Norwich. Now, City looked terrible last week, and Norwich are a very high tempo, high pressing side. I reckon Norwich could get I reckon Norwich will get a draw out of that game.
Ooh.
No, Man City will win that.
Man City will still win.
And then the 5:30 game, Brighton Watford to run on the Saturday fixtures. I think that'll be a draw.
Brighton win.
Going into Sunday, you got Southampton Man United at 2:00.
Man United.
Yeah, Man U.
I reckon United will win that. Might see Sancho make his first start. Wolves Spurs at 2:00. I guess you're going to predict the Spurs win, Luke. But it's Nino up against his former team. Really? Oh,
draw.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the same. I reckon that'll be a draw.
And then Arsenal Chelsea. For Wolves Spurs, by the way, I would say
Arsenal.
I say Wolves Spurs will be a Spurs win, and I reckon United beats Southampton. I don't know if I said that before. Arsenal Chelsea, I reckon that'll be a draw.
Arsenal win that.
Chelsea win.
And I keep forgetting about West Ham. Monday Night Football, West Ham, Leicester. That'll be a Leicester win.
That'll be a West Ham win.
Right, I don't know if you saw the German Super Cup last. I think it was early in the week. That was interesting. Moukoko started for Dortmund, but it was a 3-1 win for Bayern in the end. It was so Moukoko and Haaland played up front together, but they basically didn't offer anything. It was Marco Reus with the goal, Lewandowski with 2 goals, and Müller with the other. It was 3-1. It was 3-1 to Bayern Munich. The French league started, and there was a surprise result in Ligue 1 this week as Angers beat Lille 3-0. Oh, sorry, not Lille. Lyon 3-0. New Lyon manager has started out absolutely terrible.
Did you see they released one of their players because he was so crap?
Yeah, I know, man.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the Brazilian centre back is like Marcelo, I think it is, or Marcelo, whatever they say.
Oh,
yeah, they literally released his contract because he was so bad. Like, he played so poorly. They were like, nah, big man, you're out.
Honestly, like, that game, he scored an own goal as well, by the way, Luke, in that game.
Oh, my days.
You say Angers Lille, and I was watching it on BT. Angers, they got a new manager. What's his name? I can't remember now. It will come to me in a minute. Basically, yeah, so their old manager, he's been there for a while. He left, and they actually got the Lyon assistant in, Gaultier, that's his name. They got the Lyon assistant in, and they beat him 3-0. Sofiane Boufal with the first, Marcelo own goal, and then Azizine Unani scored the third. That Angers top of the league at the moment in the Liga. Clermont Foot second, and PSG in third. The only side to have won all 3 games. The Italian league starts this week, and it's going to be an interesting season in the Serie A because Inter lost quite a few players. Juventus have signed Locatelli. I don't know if you saw that. That happened yesterday.
Yeah, that's a good signing.
Yeah. How do you think Serie A is going to go, boys?
I reckon Juventus will be back to winning it this year.
You can't
see anyone else challenging for that.
I don't know. I don't think.
I reckon Milan have got a chance.
Will win it.
Milan have got a chance. AC Milan. I think they.
No.
Really? No. They built last season. They looked great, and decide. I don't know. I mean, obviously Donnarumma's gone, but I mean, look at the squad on paper. You still got Maignan. Great. I mean, they signed Tomori permanently, didn't they? Of course.
Yeah.
It's really just whether Zlatan can lead the line. Obviously, he's not going to start the season because he's injured. But yeah, I reckon Milan have got a great chance. Atalanta as well should probably get top 4 again. interesting season for Serie A. And that's pretty much going to end the podcast. And, obviously, Luke, I was going to ask you about the Spurs signings because you made a few recently. How do you rate them?
Yeah, they're good signings, but we need more if we want to kick on.
Yeah, I reckon that's the problem with Spurs. You haven't really got great depth quality-wise. You got the young players, you got Tanganga, you got Skip, you got multiple, and you got the young players coming through like Divine and all them lot. But really, Spurs need a few more players. Pretty much it, really. I just wanted to recap the Championship. Did you see the West Brom Sheffield United game last night, boys? Oh my god!
Yeah, I saw the highlights.
Oh,
I saw West Brom one.
I was watching that. Honestly, Sheffield United look absolutely terrible. They've not scored a single goal this season yet. Honestly, it's really not looking good for them. It's like
they won't do a Sunderland, will they? They won't go down to League
3
One.
games in, they've conceded 5, scored none. They've got a 0-0 draw. So they've got 1 point. But Sheffield United look terrible. West Brom looked great though. Callum Robinson had a great game last night, and West Brom could have won 6-0. They got 2 chances. They got the Darnell Furlong long throw, but they had 2 chances before that. They should have been goals. West Brom could have won this 6-7-0. Valérien Ismaël is an absolutely top-class manager, and he'll be in the Premier League even if West Brom don't go up. Because what he did with Barnsley last season was absolutely phenomenal. Barnsley were they were relegation fighting last season, the season before, sorry, and then they were in the playoffs under Ismaël, and he did wonders at Lask as well, and that West Brom got a good manager there. That's pretty much all. The Championship's looking pretty decent. We'll come back next week and talk about the Chelsea-Arsenal game. But thank you for watching. Any last words, boys? Also, I'm listening as well. Any last words, boys?
Nothing to add.
No, I think, happy football's back now.
Yeah, football is back. That's the real question. I'm going to Ashton Gate. The weird answer to that. I'm going to Ashton Gate on Friday night. Under the lights. It's on Sky. Bristol City versus Swansea. Local derby of some sorts. Anyway, boys, thank you for joining me. It's been a great time speaking to you lot. I'll speak to you next week.